Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about cotton candy grapes, Roselle flowers, and New Mexico Hatch Chiles. The cotton candy grapes look like a normal grape, has the oval shape, firm, plump, seedless, okay, but what makes it different is it tastes exactly like cotton candy. Almost like a trip back to the county fair, has a slight hint of vanilla, and it's an invention from the International Fruit Genetics Breeding Program in Southern California. And it's not some scary GMO mutant, it's a perfect example of good old-fashioned hand pollination and breeding selection. Taken over 10 years to create this, just by getting the desired traits out of each grape and really just being very, very selective with it. And they bred cotton candy flavor. Crazy, I know. Hatch Chiles. Looks almost kind of like an Anaheim. Long, glossy lime, blunt nose. Okay, and these chilies are, there's 5 or 6 different varieties of chilies that can be known as a Hatch chili. They go from mild, medium, hot to extra hot. And in order to be called a Hatch chili, they actually have to be grown in Hatch, New Mexico, or the Hatch Valley of New Mexico. Otherwise, you know, California will grow them. Some parts of Colorado also grow the seed variety, but then it needs to be called a New Mexico chili pepper. Not often eaten raw, but I really think it's a special treat to eat it like that. It has a nice, sweet, tangy, rich, kind of bright flavor to it. But something really magical happens with it when you add flame to it. You know, you char the outside of it and peel it, and the flavor just really gets deep and enriched, holds up to cumin and some of those other, you know, Southwest flavors. It's really a bold flavor and delicious in chowders, stuffing it. Pureeing it, they freeze really well. And all over New Mexico, every year there's celebrations in late summer, early fall, where they just really almost worship this chili. It really is a delicious special treat. If you've never had it, go out and get some. Flor de Jamaica, also known as Florida Cranberry or Roselle flower. Usually in the dried form you'll see this as known as Jamaica. Really it makes different agua frescas and different delicious teas and things like that. And you'll see the 5 petals surrounding this inner seed pod, and you have to remove that seed pod. It's a little bit bitter and certainly quite hard, not very palatable by any means. So you want to remove that, but that's kind of what the inside of it looks like there. And really delicious. To get them in this raw form like this, other than dried, if you're lucky enough to get that, you can make jams with them, cocktails, even chutneys. It adds a natural food coloring with different, for toppings or frostings, or, you know, like a cookie dough or something. It'll actually stain your fingers. And has a nice, like I mentioned earlier, cranberry, but a rhubarb flavor, almost like red currants. It's a real seasonal treat. This one's grown in San Diego County by one of our farmers. So if you're lucky enough to find this in the, you know, the fresh form like this, really is a good treat. So thanks for joining us, and that's what's hot in the cooler this week.